Hi guys, welcome back to ladensercrochets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. My name is Liz. Kindly subscribe and join the family. In this tutorial, we're going to make this Smiley emoji backpack. The only other thing that you're going to need besides the yarn is the bag lock, which locks the bag at this point. To make this bag, I did a total of 14 squares. And then I joined them together, and then this square on top is the 15 square that will be covering the bag. This particular pattern is quite simple and I hope you're going to enjoy it. If you do, kindly leave a like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Get your materials and let's get into the tutorial. We start off by making the smiley granny squares. As you can see, I've made several of these, so I'm going to show you how to make one, and then I'll let you make the ones that are enough for your bag, and then we'll get to joining them. I have a total of, I'm going to make a total of 14 for starters. I've not made this before, so I'm not sure whether 14 will be enough, but that is the number that I've estimated. If I'll need more, then I'll go on and make more. And for that, we're going to need these three colors. That is the mustard, gray, and black. Now I'm using a medium weight yarn, and because I want my square to be firm, because I'm making a bag, I want something that is very firm, I'll be doubling my strands. So for the medium weight yarn, instead of working with just one strand, I'll work with two. If you have a chunky yarn, then I would advise that you go for the chunky yarn. Now, as for the hook, I'll use the 3.5mm crochet hook. Then you're going to need a pair of scissors and a darning needle. Choose a small hook because you want tight stitches, because the tight stitches are what will lead to the firmness of your bag. We begin with a magic ring or a magic circle, and this is what I do to create mine. There is a circle, then I'll chain 2 and then go into that circle with 13 double crochets. To work a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the circle, yarn over and pull up a loop to get 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2, and that will act as our first double crochet. The chain 2 is not a stitch, it's just a starting chain. Then I'm going to work 12 more double crochets to get 13. I have the 13 double crochets. Then I'll pull this end that is right here to fasten and close up that space. Then I'm going to insert my hook into the very first double crochet that I've worked. Then I'll pull this up so that I can work over it, and then slip stitch right there to complete round 1. So just pull your yarn through and pull it through the loop that was on the hook. So we have our first round with 13 double crochets. Round 2 is going to be an increase round, and we're going to place 2 double crochets in each of the stitches. Therefore, at the end of round 2, we should have 26 double crochets. So chain 2, that's not a stitch, and then we're going to go into that stitch where we've done the slip stitch and place 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Then we move on to the next stitch and place 2 double crochets into it. then 2 double crochets into each of the stitches. Make sure that at the end of round 2 you have 26 double crochets. I'm done with round 2 and I have a total of 26 double crochets. To complete round 2, insert your hook into the first double crochet on top of it, then slip stitch to complete that round. Now we begin round 3, and for round 3 again we start by chaining 2 into that first stitch, place 1 double crochet, then into the second stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets into the same stitch, one double crochet into the third stitch, 2 double crochets into the fourth stitch, then the next will get 1, the next one will get 2, and we're going to alternate like that till we get to the end of round 3. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 2 1 2 to the end. The last stitch gets 2 double crochets. Make sure that at the end of round 3 you have 39 double crochets. Then complete the round by slip stitching on top of the first double crochet. Then chain 2 to begin round 4. We begin with 1 stitch into that very first stitch, 1 double crochet, then 1 double crochet into the second stitch. The third stitch will get 2 double crochets, 1 and 2 in the same stitch, the fourth stitch will get 1 double crochet, the next gets 1 double crochet, the one that follows gets 2 double crochets. So the pattern will be 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 till we get to the end of round 4. So 1 1, then 2 in the same stitch. The last stitch gets 2 double crochets, and in total in round 4 you should have 52 double crochets. Complete the round by slip stitching onto the first stitch, chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. We are done with the mustard yarn. Pull through and fasten, and we have the circle. Next we're going to get the gray yarn. You can use white or gray or whatever other color you want to use. It doesn't have to be gray. So again we double up the yarn like we use the 2 strands with the gray too. So I have my 2 strands. I'm going to get the circle, insert the hook into that first stitch and pull up the gray yarn, then make 1 chain or chain 1 Then we're going to work over these ends to weave them in as we work this round, which is round 5. After chaining 1, go back into that stitch with a single crochet. Then work a total of 8 single crochets. So this is the first one. We're going to work 7 more. After the 8 single crochets, we're going to do 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 and a second one into the stitch that follows. So that's a total of 2 half double crochets. The next stitch will get a double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet into that same stitch, and that will create our first corner because we want to convert the circle into a square. Then 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 1 into each of them. So 1 half double crochet and a second one. Then the next 8 stitches will each get a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. The next 2 stitches each gets 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. Then the next one gets a double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet into the same stitch, and that's our second corner. Then the stitch that follows the corner is a half double crochet, 1 and a second one into the next stitch. Then again we repeat 8 single crochets, 1 into each of the next 8 stitches. So that's 2, the next 2 stitches each get 1 half double crochet, so 1 and 2. Then we create our third corner, so double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet, then half double crochet next and another half double crochet, then 1 single crochet for a total of 8 stitches. Next we have a half double crochet, 1, then a second half double crochet, then the next stitch will get a double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet. At this point we should have 2 stitches remaining, and each of those 2 will get 1 half double crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch on top of the single crochet to complete round 5, chain 1 to begin round 6, yarn over, go into that very first stitch with a half double crochet. Then we're going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we get to the corner stitch. And that should be a total of 11 half double crochets before the first corner. Then into that corner we're going to work 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and then we start on this other edge, yarn over. This is not the first stitch, but this is, so this is where we begin, and we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So the first part you have 11, then here you're going to have 13, 13 and 13. Then we have at the end we have 2, and each corner gets 3 half double crochets. So now repeat that to the end. Remember, you don't begin here. This is not a stitch, you begin right here. I have the 3 half double crochets in the last corner. Then you're going to have 2 half double crochets into the last 2 stitches, and then slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and we are done with the square. So I just like to pull my square on either of the corners, on each of the corners, just to bring it to shape. And there we have the square. This is the right side of the square and this is the wrong side. Now we want to create the smiley pattern, and we're going to do that using the black yarn. So get your darning needle or the yarn needle, and then grab your black yarn and put it through the needle. You also want to get 2 strands. You work with 2 strands of the yarn. Get a significant length of the yarn because you need something that will be able to go around. But I like to begin with the mouth or whatever. So what you do is fold your square at the middle so that you get the exact middle. You can do this from the wrong side. Then on that middle line, insert your needle, not into the row, but somewhere in between the first. Okay, you want to insert it somewhere in this row, but not at the edge of the row, not at this point, but in the middle of the double crochet, somewhere like that. Then just pull your yarn. We're going to leave an end there. We're going to do a knot. Then onto the other side, we're going to cross this line onto this next double crochet on that same middle line. We want to create something like that. Then I'll go onto this other side and tie a knot, 2 knots, not too tight. You don't want to change the shape of the square, so don't be too tight when you're doing this. So something like that. Then insert your hook now on the line, on this line. We're going to work on this line. So somewhere close to that, whatever we've created, pull your yarn out. Then I like to skip a stitch, then into the next stitch, insert your hook, insert your needle, then bring it up. So we're just weaving to create that line. Then we go back here, and then we skip a stitch here and work into the next one. You can work without skipping, or you can skip one stitch, provided you create that line. It doesn't matter how many stitches you skip, but I would advise that you only skip one, or you don't skip at all. So now just continue weaving. So you want to make sure that this part is aligned to wherever you're going to end on this side. Then for the last part, just go in. Then you want to create something like this. And then we're going to move this yarn to the end like this. And then we're going to go around the circle, on the edge of the circle. Just make sure that you don't run out of yarn like me before you finish. So I'll just add the yarn. Make sure that you create this knot on the wrong side of the square. And that's what we have now. Then just go onto the other side and make a knot. Then you can weave in the end that will remain, but make sure that when you weave it in, it does not show on the right side of the square. So weave it in carefully. Then cut it off. So now our square is ready, and we are ready to start joining them to make the bag. So you're going to get your first 2 squares, and I'm going to join from the right side of the squares using the mustard yarn. So ensure that when you're working, you're joining from the right side. Hold them in such a way that they are smiling on the right side, or you can have them like this, however you want to have them, or even like that. It's a square, so all the sides are equal in length, that is. We are joining from the right side of the squares like this. So begin by getting the middle stitch on the first corner on this side, and the middle stitch on the corner on the other side. Then you're going to grab your yarn and pull it through. Then chain 1. Go back into those stitches that you're joining and do a single crochet as we work over this end. Then we're going to go into the next 2 corresponding stitches and do a single crochet. a single crochet into the third stitches. I'll leave this end and weave it later so that you can see the stitches clearly. So into the third stitch, into the fourth, and you want to make sure that you join all the corresponding stitches correctly till you get to the next corner. Make sure that you don't skip any stitch or work in a stitch more than once. When you're done, this is what you should have. Once we get here, we're going to get another square and join it right here so that we don't have to cut off the yarn. And then we're going to start in that same stitch that we've just worked, the middle stitch of this square on this side, and then we're going to get the middle stitch on the square that we are joining. Then work single crochets, I'm in the corner, and this is what we have now. I'll go on and attach another one here. So they are upside down, but that's quite okay because this is going to be the base of the base, and then we're going to have this side, and these two sides. So there's no problem if this one does not face the same direction as the others. So I'll turn to this other side and connect this one right there. I want to make sure that it faces the same direction as this other one. So beginning with that middle stitch, I'll just go back into it, then the middle stitch on the other side. Make sure that you're getting the right stitch. Let me finish this, then I'll show you how it should be looking like. So now this is where we are at. These ones will join like this. Then we'll do another one here, all the way around. So we should work all the way around. So now I'll get my next square. And I'll connect it here. So now I'll go back into this square, into the same stitch, and then I'll get the middle stitch of the corner on the other side, then connect to this point. I'll meet you there once I've connected this one. Once we get here, we're going to slip stitch on this very first single crochet that we did. Do a slip stitch to complete that part. Then we're going to connect another square here, right there. So we're going to insert our hook into the middle stitch of this square right here, that the middle stitch that we've already worked. Then we're going to get the middle stitch of the corner on this other square, the square that we are connecting. Then do our single crochet there. Then connect the corresponding stitches till you get here. When you get here, we're going to attach another square on this side. So this is where we are at. We're going to attach another one here. So there, then you're going to have another one here. So when I turn like this, it comes to this point. After connecting at the end, we're going to do a slip stitch into this stitch in the middle right here. Do a slip stitch, then turn your work like this. So that now we work right here to connect these two. And we're going to begin with these stitches that we've already worked at the corner and on the corner on the other side. Do a single crochet. Then now connect the corresponding stitches to the next corner. We get to the top and then this is what we have. So we still need 2 more on that part. So I'll start by connecting this one that is close by. Start with the middle stitch and the other one on the other side. At this end, I'm going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn. Pull through and fasten. So now I'll attach something here, a square on this side. So once I've attached this one on this side, I'll be done with this side. Then I'll come to this other side and I'll attach 2 more on top like this. Then on the side I'll do 1 and 1 on this other side. So let me do that, then come back. So basically what you're doing is you're joining 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 2 times. That will be the middle panel. So you don't have to work it out the same way I did. So just make sure that you have the 5 and another line of 5. Then after that, you're going to have in the middle line 1, 2, 3, you're going to have an extension of 2 on the upper side and an extension of 2 on this other side. And I joined this wrongly. So I'm going to undo this and do it the right way with the smiley face facing up. Once you have all the pieces, we're just going to start folding it in. So you want to fold this part and this part and join them. Make sure that we are joining from the right side. So you insert your hook into this gap, and that's where we're going to reconnect the yarn. Then just pull up the yarn at that point, and we're going to start working. We're not chaining at all. We're going to go straight into these corner stitches on this square and on the square on the other side, and join them with a single crochet. Then we're going to join the corresponding stitches all the way up. Once we get to the corner, we're going to get the corner on this side together with the corner on the other side. Then the corners of the squares on the top part. And then I'll continue joining till I get to the top. I'll just hide that end later. Once we get to the top, chain 1 and cut off the yarn. So we have the bag connected on one side, and now we're going to fold this other part, connect here. Then after that, we're going to fold the other sides and connect them like this and down below. So I'll just get the yarn and reconnect it the same way I reconnected on the other part. Right there, then join all the way up, and then I'll do the other remaining parts off camera, then I'll come back. Once we've joined all the 4 parts, this is what we're going to have, and our bag has started taking shape. Now you need to ensure that when you make the last connection, you don't cut off the yarn. We're going to use it to work an edging on the top part of the bag. So beginning from that point where we've ended, we're just going to start working the upper part. We're going to go into the stitch that is next to that last stitch that we've done and place a single crochet. Then we're going to work a single crochet all the way around the bag into each of the stitches. Work a single crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet into the stitch that follows. Then we're going to place one single crochet into each of the stitches until we get to the corner part of this square. Once you get to the corner, you want to make sure that you don't work into that last stitch, but instead we're going to get the joint or the joining part and place a stitch right there. So we are skipping the corner stitches on both sides of the squares, and we're going to go straight into the next square and work single crochets into that square. And then when we get to the joint part, we're going to work the same way we've worked on this other joint. Then we just continue with one single crochet into every stitch till we've gotten all the way around the bag. Let me do that, then I'll come back once I have my single crochets. I'm coming to the end of that row and I'm just placing my last single crochets, and then the very last single crochet will be in that joint. And to complete that top row, we're going to slip stitch onto the first single crochet that we did, then chain one, and we're going to cut off the yarn from that point. So cut off the yarn and pull through, then get your darning needle and weave in that end. Once I'm done weaving the end, I'll trim off all the other ends that are already weaved in. Then I'll go on to weaving all the other ends that are on the top part of the bag. I'll weave them in and then I'll be back once I'm done with the weaving. This is what you're going to have after weaving in all the ends, and this is how the bag folds on both sides. The next thing that we're going to do is work a cover to place over the bag, but then this video has gotten too long, therefore I'll not be continuing on this video. This will be the end of part 1, and I'm going to attach a link to the description box for part 2, so click on it and continue to the next part of this bag.